Hi there, and welcome to the Cotswold Explorer. I'm Robin Shuckburgh, and we're exploring the wonderful region of the Cotswolds in southwest England. We've decided to revisit the centre of the region and find some hidden gems, places that are not quite so famous, but still just as beautiful. We're in the little village of Farmcote, and we've been following Evans all the way along this western escarpment, and he came via the various villages that we visited over the last few weeks. He ended in Stanway, and he was riding his cycle between Stanway and Winchcombe. And he describes the journey up a hill pushing his bike. And I'm going to read it to you because it is so extraordinary. It says as follows: "The ruts and rough grass as I climb and ascent through a cornfield require careful steering and keep my eyes fixed upon the ground. On raising them again, the scene disclosed is positively startling. Without being aware of it, I have reached the brow of the steep western face of the hills, and there on the horizon stands the blue undulating chain of the Malvern Range in all its grandeur. To the northwest appear the distant Shropshire heights, while the middle distance is filled by Bredon, with Dumbleton Hill like an outpost planted in front of it." Behind me, people, you see what he saw. It is just incredible. It's very likely that you'll never come to this little hamlet. It's extremely remote, minute, and at the end of a single-track road with no passing places or anywhere to park a vehicle. I'm afraid that unless you're on foot or on a bicycle, you'll have to make do with films and photos like this one. 'Twas ever thus. Around 1,000 years ago, this little community was given what was described as a chapel of ease. Built probably by the early Normans, possibly even by the late Saxons, this little building allowed the residents of this hamlet to attend church without having to make the arduous and possibly dangerous journey to their local parish church in Power, 4 or 5 miles away. Dedicated to St. Faith, it's a fully fledged church, but in miniature. It's full of treasures. The communion rail is 17th century and almost certainly came from Winchcombe Church. The wonderful medieval roof of ancient oak beams. The charming bellcut, once a double peal, but now just a single bell, touchingly poised inside the nave to summon the village to church. The altar stone, a 13th century mensa, is an extremely rare survivor of the Reformation. It must have been removed, hidden and replaced once sanity was restored. There's even a lovely canopied tomb featuring the effigies of Henry and Mary Stratford, dressed in full Elizabethan garb and probably dating from around 1590. They show signs of having been cut down to size, suggesting that they were made somewhere else by someone who couldn't believe the tiny space into which they were to be squeezed. Now, I'm not really a religious man, and I try to avoid excessive sentimentality, but this place really does tug on my heartstrings. Way back in the mid-1950s, I came here with my older brother, Julian, on the back of his Lambretta motor scooter. We'd been fossil hunting in the quarries that are dotted around this edge of the Cotswold Escarpment, and dropped in here for a break to eat our sandwiches. 8 years older than me, it was here that he explained to me the way in which a sounding board, the roof over the amazing little pulpit, enhanced the sound of the preacher's voice, and how the floor over a large hollow cavity had the same effect with the bass notes. He likened it to the effect of a tea-chest bass, a rudimentary musical instrument used in my recently formed school skiffle group. We had 2 ukuleles, a washboard, and said tea chest. We were only 8 years old, and the bassist had to stand on top of the chest to play it. Those trips with my brother to the Cotswold churches undoubtedly sowed the seeds of my fascination with the area, so it could easily be said that my brother Julian is responsible for this whole explorer thing, and for that I can't thank him enough. A musician, publisher and writer, he was an inspirational man. He died last year after a terrible, decade-long struggle with dementia, and visiting this place has finally allowed me to remember him as he was before that dreadful illness took him from us. I hope you will forgive me, but I would like to read you something in his memory. Appropriately, really, the words of a song written in the 17th century, just 20 miles north of here, in Stratford-on-Avon, by William Shakespeare. Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Thou thy worldly task hast done, home art gone, and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, as chimney-sweepers, come to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great, thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and eat, to thee the reed is as the oak. The sceptre, learning, physic must all follow this, and come to dust. Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the all-dreaded thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure rash, thou hast finished joy and moan. All lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee, and come to dust. No exorciser harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. Ghost unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave.